How's it going, guys? My name is Tavarish, and today we are concentrating on the Mercedes section of my garage. Now, this is my daily driver V12 Mercedes-Benz S600. Now, you guys will know that I bought this from Tyler Hoover of Hoovy's Garage. But the OGs amongst you will know that I had this 2003 Mercedes-Benz SL55 as a project for a few years, and I'm planning on making this a manual transmission conversion. Now, that project has been on the back burner for a very long time, but today, that changes. So if you guys are new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy it, and consider subscribing if you like this kind of stuff. Now, this is the second part of my garage update series. We're doing one video a day until I unveil my new project with another YouTuber. We're doing a sort of challenge. It's going to be really, really fun. But today we're concentrating on this, my two Mercedes. Well, this is a daily driver, and this is sort of a weekend car that turned into a bigger project. But this is what I'm going to concentrate on right now. It's a little bit dark down there, well, under here. So I'm going to take this car out so you guys can see it in the light. I'm going to show you why this is going to be the platform for a new series I'm doing, and also why this car needs a lot of work. So here she is in all her glory. This is the 2007 Mercedes-Benz S600 twin-turbo V12. Actually, I think Mercedes-Benz call it a bi-turbo. Now, this has been tuned to make upwards of 600 horsepower at the crank and 700 foot-pounds of torque. This thing is a rocket ship. It's a monster, and it needs a lot of work. But since this car needs some work, I figured I would share with you that entire experience by doing a new series. I'm not sure what to call it, maybe Maintenance Monday or Tune Up Tuesday or something like that. You guys can let me know in the comments what you would prefer, but I'm gonna be doing a maintenance sort of vlog style, well, vlog about my cars, about maintaining them, about making sure that everything is running 100% on all my, at this point, fleet of cars. Now, on the outset, this car is very handsome, but the reality is this has 162,000 miles. The engine was replaced before I got it from Tyler Hoover, but the rest of the car is very worn, and you can tell that because there are a lot of, let's just say, imperfections. You have chips on the wheel from definitely not me. Plus, if you take a look around the car, you'll see that it is just blasted with bugs. Now, this is not anything I can really do anything about. I live in Florida. This is reality. So I try to clean them off as much as I can, but it just happens. But the bugs and detailing aside, that can easily be remedied. The big portion of this build will be in the interior and also in the engine bay. Now, this is gonna ding the entire time, so let me get in so I can show you what I'm talking about. Foot on the brake. Okay. Next service C, due in 7 days. Not sure what that actually is. I'll have to look that up, but that's not a big deal. I don't have any warning lights at all, except for the fact that if I put the car into drive, it says park assist inoperative. And the park assist is, that's pretty important in something like this. Now, if I put it in reverse, it says the same thing, but I do have the reverse camera. So that does work, and I can steer it, and it tells me where the car is gonna go. Now, let's say I wanna go to a drive-through. What you do, you go to a drive-through and you press the window down button, and it does not work. So the window down and up on this window, the most important window I have when driving, that doesn't work, which makes going to drive-throughs and ATMs and all that stuff impossible. Now, the window switch itself actually does work. So if I press this, that goes down fine. So let's say you come to terms with the fact that you don't have a working window. So what you do when you want some breeze is you open up the sunroof. You want to open it up, and to do that, you just press this button, and Yeah, that's a great noise. So that doesn't work. Also, this stopped retracting. I'm gonna have to fix that with a new motor, and to do that, this entire panel has to come off, and then the new motor screws right in. Hopefully, it's not something where the entire headliner has to come out, but knowing Mercedes, that's probably going to happen. Also, this little nub on the center console, it broke, but that pales in comparison to the biggest problem that this has. And to do that, I'm gonna need to demonstrate an issue. Hey, Jared. Can you come and help? You look so enthusiastic. There's that smile. Ooh, wow. There it goes. Yeah. Oh. All right, whoa, that's about to come out of the engine bay. So it's pretty clear that that engine mount is completely toast. I'm not even sure that it's connected anymore. This engine went up by about a good 2-3 inches, and that should not happen. So to do that, we have to do some work on the subframe, probably take off a lot of stuff, and then put the new engine mounts in. Now, I do have the new engine mounts from FCP Euro. They sent it over to me a very, very, very long time ago, and I've just been kind of neglecting it, and I figured, hey, this works like this, no problem. I just won't push it, but it does get very vibraty, and it's not becoming of a Mercedes. But another thing that I wanted to really address, especially in this video, is the fact that this has 2 batteries. So there's one right here. This is I believe it's a V4 style battery, or V4 group battery. But I have a battery in the back, and that is a little bit hard to get to, and I know that that battery is actually going dead. So what we're gonna do today is we're just going to install a new battery. I'm gonna show you kind of how to do it. It's really easy, just installing a regular battery, except for the fact that it's hidden in the trunk. And then we're gonna move on to that. What's in my trunk? I actually don't have any idea. Oh, it's a bunch of junk. Just take this off. And ta-da! There's a battery. I removed okay. All right. Yep. It's back. I removed both batteries and it's doing that. I think there might be a third battery in there. The battery terminal is off. Okay, okay, there we go. All right, so this is the old battery. It is a Megatron Plus. Makes sense because this battery is evil, but it is a 49 battery group /H8. Now I just went to Advance and got this. This is a Autocraft Platinum AGM, so this is absorbed glass matte. And this battery actually takes to shocks and vibrations a lot better than a regular lead acid battery. So all we have to do is replace this. This is just the power cable to the distribution block. So we'll put this on our new battery, put the new battery in there, and then we should have no electrical issues for the foreseeable future. Okay, new batteries in. That actually wasn't really that hard. The only problem was just getting the battery in and out. These batteries weigh a lot, but I wouldn't have to do it for a very, very long time. But since we're basically done and you know all the issues with this car, we will be going over everything in that new series. You guys let me know what to call it. I'm really excited to show you what we're gonna do to that SL55 right there. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce one of the oldest projects on my channel. This is my 2003 Mercedes-Benz SL55 AMG. The OGs amongst you will know this car because I brought it from New Jersey when I lived there with my parents all those years ago. I bought this for $8,900. It was the cheapest one in the country, and this has been on the back burner, even though I could drive this basically every day. Now, the plan with this was that I was gonna do a manual conversion, which would be the very first in the world. These only came with automatics. They did not come with any manual versions in Europe, nothing like that. These only came with automatics, and I figured that this car was very deserving of a manual swap because this is a 5.4 liter supercharged V8 making around 550 horsepower, well, with my modifications. Now, I did a lot of legwork as far as getting the transmission, getting the clutch, getting a lot of the custom work done, and you can see that right here. So let's go over what I have, and then I'll tell you why this might not be the solution I'm looking for. Jared.
Yeah.
Help.
Okay.
So Jared's gonna be like a little hand model right now.
Let's start with the number one problem you have with this setup.
What when you say problems, do you mean just opportunities and solutions?
Well, no, problems. Because you like something that drives smooth, calm. It's a wonder you like me, because that doesn't describe my driving at all.
It's not you. But this is what is known as a clutch. So the clutch, if you guys didn't know, or if you want a quick refresher course on a clutch, the clutch disengages and engages the drive between the engine and the transmission. So that's the transmission, the engine's in the car, the engine makes the power, and the transmission transmits that power into the driven wheels. And the clutch is what you engage and disengage to connect the transmission and the engine. Now, clutches are not all the same. Some are harsher than others, and with this, we want the smoothest clutch we can. Now, there is a give and take with clutches because the more that you can put in as far as power, the less they tend to be streetable. So if you have a clutch that needs to hold 1,000 foot-pounds of torque, it's probably going to look something like this. This is a race clutch, and you can see that it doesn't have any springs. This is a solid hub, and it's also a twin disc, which means that it has this disc right here, but also has a floater plate, and then it has another disc right here, and this increases effectively the surface area of the clutch.
So when you have this small of a surface area for the clamping force to be applied, you have more clamping force, but less ability to actually slip the clutch. So when you're trying to do a hill start, or just any start, you have to be much more aggressive with throttle and kind of dump the clutch quickly, because it physically can't slip. It grips too quickly.
So this would not be a comfortable drive.
Correct. And then one other thing you run is by not having those springs, when you let the clutch out, it actually transfers a lot of shock load through everything. Those springs allow, when you dump, everything to kind of shake and move a little bit and transition smoothly through the driveline instead of a harsh vibration and harsh engagement.
So from the parts bin, we have this is a Supra clutch, and you can see that this is a full face disc, which means that it's not a puck or anything like that, and it has these springs which take up a lot of the vibration.
So yeah, this transfers through the springs and then out.
So this is what we need, but unfortunately we have some other issues because the transmission, it turns out the input shaft, this guy right here, that seems like it's very short. Usually the input shaft is just a little bit longer, and that allows for kind of more clutch travel. But this, it's specifically made. Now I got this a while back, and this was all custom made. You can see that this bell housing was mated to this. This is a GS6 53BZ transmission, or DZ rather. So this is from a 530 diesel BMW, and it's a 6-speed and it has some weird gear ratios, but this should theoretically bolt onto my car, but I'm having an issue just with this. So this is actually a Tilton clutch. I see, you can see right here, it's Tilton. It looks like it's remanufactured or something because it does have some wear marks. I don't know where that's from. Maybe it's a used clutch or something, but I certainly never have used it. So it comes with its own flywheel, and the flywheel is this is super small. It is just tiny. Oh, look at that. That's nice. It's actually not that light.
No, it's steel instead of aluminum with a steel plate face.
I have a few options here. Number one, I can put this on, I can put this on, and then just kind of hope for the best. Hopefully the torque of the engine makes this easier to slip. I don't think that's going to happen, and I think it's going to be a miserable experience. Number two is get a new clutch. Get a clutch that can hold and have springs in the middle. but that's going to be very, very hard with a twin disc because this does put out a lot of torque. Now, clutches don't really care too much about horsepower, they care about torque. I could get another gearbox, which is the BZ version of this, which is in the M5, which is in the 335i, and a bunch of other BMWs, because they made this for cars in the US. Unfortunately, this DZ transmission they did not make for cars in the US, and it's super hard to get, and I can only get it in Europe, and if I broke this transmission, this would be a lot of downtime for the car. So I might just get that transmission, and they do make an adapter plate, and then they can adapt an M5 clutch. The only problem is there's a 1 to 2 month wait to do that, and then I'd have to spend basically this entire budget all over again just to get a clutch, adapter plate, flywheel, and all the other stuff that needs to happen for this to go into there. On top of this, this is already, let's just call this a done deal. I'll figure out the details, but this is gonna happen. This car obviously needs some body work. This bumper looks like garbage. The car generally looks like garbage, but this needs to get done. And what I did was I bought this. This is an OEM brand new Mercedes bumper, and this is a flimsy piece of plastic, and it cost $1,400. That is absolutely insane, but it's exactly what the car needs. I also have an SL55 AMG bumper in the rear, and we're going to do that because there's going to be a carbon fiber diffuser, and that is going to finish off the look of that car. But as you can tell by the cloud of dust that's engulfed this car, I actually haven't driven this car in a while, and I do know that the battery in this car is dead and I need to change it, and that is the same battery that was in that car. It's in the back. This does have 2 batteries just like the other car, but I think this car might start. Let me try. Give me a red battery warning light, and the start battery is still probably good, but this thing is not happy. It's telling me that all the electronic consumers are offline because yeah, the battery in the back is dead. So let's go and change that really quick, and then hopefully this should all work, and it'll work enough that I can get this to the body shop in a few days. So what's cool about this is that it is a hardtop convertible, and the top retracts into here. There's like a cool cantilevered mechanism. I really, really dig it. But the problem is sometimes it's not the best. Now, I think there might be a hydraulic leak somewhere. Here's the hydraulic pump. Now, I did disassemble this entire thing because, well, you know, I kind of worked on it and then gave up. So the battery is right here. It's quite easy to get to. Just a 13 and 2 10s, and then we should be good to go. Well, okay, so it turns out I bought the wrong battery. Turns out you need the right battery to put in your car. But we went to Advance, got the right battery. Now we have some power going into the car, and already you can see that things are looking up. Now, there is going to be a ABC warning light malfunction because, of course, I have the ABC suspension completely deleted in this car. So we will see if it starts. Yeah, that's the battery warning light for the front, I believe, because that still needs to get replaced. I have that on order. We're going to turn that on. All right. Yeah, that ABC warning light just has to be taken out via the diagnostic software, but everything else seems to be good, and usually this would be dimming and doing all sorts of weird things, but we are good to go. Now, this car still needs a lot of work. It still needs that manual swap and a lot of body work. So in the next episode, I'm going to be taking this to the body shop to see what they can do with this front end and also all the rust and dents all over the side of the car. So this should look absolutely spectacular in very short order. And then you guys can let me know in the comments what you think about the manual swap, what direction I should go. So that's gonna be it for today's episode. Hope you guys had a great time. Now, this is still a work in progress, but I'm very, very excited. Now, in the next episode, we're gonna go on to the Italians. So until next time, this is me reminding you guys that on cars like all of these, you should build it better. And to do that, you need to wrench every day.